Alright, we are back with yet another video. It has been about 2 weeks since my last video, and if I'm gonna be honest, this isn't even the video I was planning to make, but of course, since a sudden break for the BLUELOCK manga, I've decided let me go and make this video instead for the one I had planned. With the ending of the backstory Munchen vs PXG game, we are now awaiting the final values and the end of the Manshine vs Barcha game. So with this video, I'm going to be going over my predictions for which values I think the top 10 players will be getting. And I actually made this prediction already back in like October on my TikTok. I'm gonna keep most of them the same, but there might be one or two that I'm trying to change because new information comes out and I'm not trying to look like an idiot. But with that being said, let's get into the top 10. And if your favorite character isn't here, don't get mad at me. This is not my list. This is Kaneshiro's list. I speak for the author here. I will be speaking in his position. So if you don't like it, don't direct your hate towards me. Okay, I know I'm supposed to start, but like, I've really been racking my brain over like, where do I put Nagi? Because I don't know if he's going to have a comeback and score 3 goals or whatever, or if he's just going to be mediocre and just barely coast through top 23. Like, I've been really racking my brain. And if you guys have been following me for a long time, you guys know all the way back in 2023, I made my prediction that Nagi won't have a comeback. Or if he does, it will only be like 1 goal and he finds what he's actually missing. He's not going to have some Oonga Boonga hat trick. So like, I want to stick to that, but I don't know. I really don't know. Coming in at number 10, I have put Otoya in that 10th place, and I have given him a value of 50 million. Otoya currently in the Neo Egoist League is already ranked 10th, and he has a 42 million value. In the Neo Egoist League, he has 1 goal and 1 assist, which is not too bad. 2 goal involvements in 3 games. He assisted Barcha in their first game against BM, and he scored a goal against PXG with Levinho's help. I think in this upcoming game against Manshine, he may get another assist or maybe get a goal, but I can't see him getting like a really high increase. I'm going to stick with an assist for now. I think he'll get a plus 8 million increase, and that will be his final value for the Neo Egoist League. I just don't think Otoya is really that relevant in the story where he's going to get like a large increase. Like the relevance he may have had back in the 3rd selection where he was Big 6, that's not really here anymore. I think he's a solidified like 10th to 13th place type of player now. If you had seen my under 20s lineup prediction video, you would have seen that I don't even have Otoya starting in the under 20s World Cup. So that kind of lets you know where I think he's positioned in this story at this point in time. But moving on from Otoya, we are then going to move on to the person in the 9th position. And for me, that is Hiyori. And I have given Hiyori a 55 million value. Hiyori currently in the Neo Egoist League only has a value of 20 million. And that's only because he had played what, like a third of a game? He hadn't even played a full game yet and he'd already gotten 20 million. We saw the madness he was pulling off during the Ubers game, dribbling past multiple people with his top tier passes, his metavision on the level of Isagi, and then in this PXG game where he set up the first goal for Isagi, he's been linking up with him the entire game, we've seen him stop Rin. He has solidified himself as one of the best players in BLUELOCK, and in my opinion, I think he's the best midfielder in the BLUELOCK program. But the reason why I'm only giving him 55 billion is because I still can't see him getting like these really high values for only playing what, a game and a third? It would have been a completely different story if Hiyori had been playing since the very start of the Neo Egoist League and he'd been trying his hardest, but because he hasn't played that much, I can't see him getting the 80 millions, the 90 millions, etc. But if you did see my under 20s World Cup lineup prediction video, I do think that Hiyori will get into the starting lineup for that team. In the 8th position, I have a player who has already played their final game and we've already been given their finalized value. And that is Aiku with his 60 million value that he got at the end of Ubers versus Manshine. There's not too much to say about Aiku. He's still the best defender in the BLUELOCK program currently. He's got metavision, he's a fucking tank. I do kind of wish that Aiku's current value was a bit higher, but this is the cards we've been dealt. If you saw my video, you know I think it's pretty much guaranteed that he's going to be starting in the under 20s World Cup. Like, he's one of the very safe characters that we know is not going to be replaced for a very long while in Japan. Now, moving on from Aiku, who I have in 8th place, we're going to be moving on to the 7th place position, and I have Kunigami in that spot. Now, originally in the TikTok prediction video I made, I had Kunigami with a 75 million value, but I think I'm going to tweak that just a little bit, and I'm going to be giving Kunigami a 70 million value. Kunigami in the Neo Egoist League currently has a 50 million value, but his value is a little bit weird because that 50 million that he has gotten so far was based on teams bidding for a striker. However, in the PXG game, his position completely changes. After Shido scores his diving header, Kunigami moves from the striker position all the way back to the CDM position, and his role completely changes. He is no longer required and they're no longer asking of him to score goals. His one sole job is to stop Shido. And to be fair to him, not only did he pretty much stop Shido and keep him out the game for almost 20 chapters, but he also got an assist. So I'm not really sure if teams are still going to be bidding for Kunigami as a striker, or if they now see more value in Kunigami playing as a CDM. I hope Kunigami continues to play striker, but I just think based on these factors, he might just get a 70 million value. Like, he should definitely get an increase because he played well. Not only that, he saved the game. His diving header against Charles, which kept BM in position of the ball, directly led to them scoring because the ball fell to Ness, he passed it to Isagi, and Isagi ended the game. Moving on from Kunigami in the 7th position, we will be moving on to 6th, and in 6th place I have one of Kunigami's rivals. I have Chigiri, and I will be giving Chigiri a value of 77 million. Now, Chigiri has been put in a very unfortunate situation in the Neo Egoist League. He has proven that he is a really great solo player, but he has been placed in a team that is centered around somebody else. And I was telling people, you can go through every match where we've seen any parts of Manshine play, and you won't find a single panel of a Manshine player passing the ball to Chigiri. Because the entire tactics is just get the ball to Nagi and try and encourage his creativity. Chigiri currently has a 55 million value in the Neo Egoist League. He has 2 confirmed goals, and I think he will get another goal in the Manshine vs Barcha game. I think Chigiri has done enough currently to prove that he is the best winger in the Blue Lock program. And if you've seen my video, I have Chigiri starting in the left midfield position for the Under-20s World Cup. Especially when you look at Chigiri on paper, there really isn't much that he can't do. He's the fastest player in Blue Lock, he's a great shooter with his proven goal scoring formula, he's one of the best dribblers in Blue Lock, we've seen him defending where he's intercepting passes, he's blocking shots from characters like Burū, he really does it all. I think Chigiri will end the Neo Egoist League with 3 goals and a 77 million value. We're now going to be moving into the top 5, and this is where we get into the actual big boy values. The stuff like the 70s and all, we're leaving that behind. We're hitting straight 100 million plus from now on. In 5th place, I have Barchida. That is currently where he's ranked in the Neo Egoist League anyway. He currently has a 79 million value, and I can see Barchida jumping from 79 million up to 110 million. Now, this is very dependent on whether Barcha beat Manshine or not. When I had it as 110 million in my TikTok video, my prediction was that Barcha was gonna win. I'm not so sure right now, but I'm gonna hold strong. I don't even fucking like Barchida, but like, I know you fans will be happy with that. Barchida in the Neo Egoist League currently has 3 goals. He has scored in every game he has played. And in this game against Manshine, I can low-key see him either getting 2 goals in this game, or he gets 1 goal and 1 assist. And if Barchida ends up doing that, I don't think a 31 million increase is really that far-fetched, going from 79 million to 110 million. If he ends the Neo Egoist League with 4 goals and an assist, or maybe 5 goals, I think he definitely would deserve to be in that 100 million club. Now, will Barchida ever be on the tier of the guys above him? Fuck no, that will never happen. Like, let's set this right now. This is the level he's at, and he will never be higher than this. And he might not even keep that 5th position, because if Nagi ends up turning up, I promise on all of your lives, every single one of you, your lives, I promise you that Nagi will have a higher value than Barchida. Like, there is levels to this. This is the highest in terms of the best players in the series. This is the peak of Barchida. He will never be top 5 after this. I promise you that. Moving on from Bachida in 5th place, we will be moving on to the 4th place. And I'm just here to tell you, other than 1 and 2, these positions aren't moving. I have Shido in 4th place, and I have given him a 135 million value. I'm thinking maybe 140, but for now, let me just stick with 135. Now, of course, there is that group of Shido fans that think he's gonna have a higher value than Burū. You can't convince me of that. Like, no matter what you say, it just doesn't compute in my head. I don't think he should get a 50 million plus increase for that one diving header goal and not doing shit else the rest of the fucking game. After that diving header goal, he got written out of the game. He literally got kept out by Kunigami, who was playing a defensive role for the first time in his life. And then even after Kunigami was subbed off and subbed back on, Kunigami wasn't even marking Shido anymore, and Shido still wasn't really doing anything. The game had moved on from him. He was no longer really an offensive threat. Everyone was just focused on Isagi, Kaiser, and Ren. Now, I'll still commend him for scoring in this game because this is the highest level game out of any of them in the Neo Egoist League. That's why I've still given him the jump from 100 million to 135, but you can't convince me of 100 million to 150 or 100 million to 160 or anything crazy like that. You can't convince me. Shido will be ending the Neo Egoist League with 4 goals scored and 135 million value. And yo, if Shido ends up with a higher value than Burū, I don't even know what I'm gonna do. Give me something to do, cause like I think that's on the weekend. I might just lose my mind. I might just lose it. Moving on from Shido in 4th place, we're now going to the top 3. In 3rd place, I have got Burū, who has already had his final value decided. His final value is 150 million. I personally can't see anyone surpassing 150 million. I think Burū is set in stone as the 3rd place. He currently has 5 goals in the Neo Egoist League, but potentially 6 or 7 due to the unknown goal scorers in the Ubers versus Manshine game. And I'm not gonna lie, if Burū does have 6 or 7 goals, Kaneshiro has done him dirty with this 150 million value. But if he has 5 goals, I'm fine with it. Like, I'm not too mad at that. But at the same time, I can't really see Burū going scoreless against Manshine and then having Nagi on his knees, Burū, tell me what keeps you going, and have Burū give him advice when he didn't even score in that game. So I just see that as unlikely. I think Burū had 6 or 7 goals in the Neo Egoist League. And hey, this top 3, some people may think it's symbolic of just the big 3 of the series, that being Isagi, Ren, and Burū. Let me know what your thoughts on that. I know there's a lot of Nagi fans. Let me know. Moving on from my king Burū, we will be going on to the 2nd position. And finally, for the first time in this story, it is Ren that is not number 1. I have Ren in the number 2 position with a value of 250 million. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I'm being very generous. Ren is currently on the value of 198 million, and I've given him a 52 million increase. But from that performance against BM, does he really deserve it? Other than the first play of the game where Ren dribbles past the team and then is stopped by Hiyori, Ren is pretty damn near non-existent for the first half of the PXG versus BM match. In fact, Ren along with the rest of PXG were getting absolutely battered by BM. And then after the pressure finally gets to Ren, he's been restricted enough and he finally awakens, he enters his destroyer mode and he scores his mid-air free kick crash shot or whatever you want to call it. And then after that, he was kind of stupid. Like, he was kind of just playing really reckless. Igaguri was able to foul bait him twice. He goes for the crash shot in Isagi and on Kaiser multiple times when, bro, it's been patched. I don't know why he kept spamming that crash shot and trying that shit multiple times. For someone that's supposed to be so unpredictable, he became very predictable. And Ren kind of just stopped linking up with people. Even when Shido swallowed his pride and he saw that BM's 2 aces were working together, he was like, yo, we can do the same thing. He passed to Ren multiple times, and he was in a position where if Ren had passed the ball back, the game would be over. Ren doesn't do it, he goes for some more bullshit, and they lose the game. And that's not even mentioning that if you look at every goal that BM scored in this game, Ren was one of the reasons for every single one of them. Rin wasn't able to stop Isagi when Isagi was going for 2-gun volley. Rin was also defending Kaiser when Kaiser went for his Kaiser Magnus Impact. He wasn't able to block it, he wasn't able to stop Kaiser. And when we look at the final goal that Isagi scored to win this game, Rin was the one marking Isagi and lost his mark. Isagi got into a clear position and he scored. And if you want to go with the logic, well, he's a striker, he doesn't really need to be defending, why is he there? He shouldn't be there in the first place then. He took that responsibility and they scored on his head every single time. Rin had great moments in this game, but he had his fair share of lowlights as well. And we saw Burū versus BM where he scored his 2 goals and he did, in my opinion, more than Rin did in this game. And Burū got what, 30 million for his performance? So like, I'm being generous by saying Rin's gonna get a value of 250 million. If it's lower, I'm not surprised. Like, can you really look at that PXG versus BM game and say that is a 250 million player right there? I don't know. I personally don't know, but let me know. Moving on from Rin in the second position, we will be moving on with the final player, and it is the new #1 player in Blue Lock. That is Yoichi Isagi. And my prediction was that Isagi was going to get a 300 million bid from Real. I just think Isagi has carried too many games and he's proven himself too many times for anyone but him to be ranked #1. I think if you don't think he's going to be #1, it's kind of cope, bro. Like, he has got 4 goals in the Neo Egoist League and he has 4 assists. He has the most goal involvements out of any player in this league. Isagi has just evolved at a crazy rate throughout this league, and we have seen him outsmart these guys countless times, whether it be Loki and Noah, or Rin and Kaiser, or Burū, or the defenders he's going up against. He has done this countless times and has just proven he's the best. And you guys can factor in this player is a top tier dribbler, this guy's the best shooter, or anything like that. And I agree with you, that is very important, but that's not the full picture. We're forgetting these people's compatibility with others, their ability to make their teammates better, their teamwork, all of that gets factored in to what makes a player great. And with everything factored in, Isagi has proven he's the best. Like, I feel like the Blue Lock community needs this reminder. Someone taking more categories than another character doesn't mean that they're just better than them. That's not how it works. Like, I'm sure if you broke it down, fucking Yuki Miya would take more categories than Isagi. What does that mean? I think this arc has been about building Isagi up to finally being #1, because throughout the entire story, Isagi has been playing catch up. He started with all his rivals being far ahead of him, and now it's his time to be in the limelight. It is his time to be ranked #1 and for others to be chasing him. So with all things considered, I think Isagi ends the Neo Egoist League with 4 goals, 4 assists, a 300 million bid, which is double the current bid of 150 that he currently has, and that bid being from Real Madrid. But hey, let me know what you guys think. Am I just spreading an agenda? Am I just talking? Do you agree? Who are you throwing in there? Which characters do you think I've missed? Let me know down in the comments, and if there's any videos you're looking forward to, type them down. I may make them. And if you like the video, drop a sub. It will make me continue to make these videos. We have surpassed 3,000 subscribers and you guys are going absolutely crazy. So I just thank you for the love. And we have another video coming out once this next chapter drops. So stay tuned for that. But for now, I'm out.